Usually we fear watching Fear the Walking Dead, but the season 3 premiere, Eye of the Beholder, delivered to a decent level. For me, best episode of Fear probably to this point, which ain't saying much, but I liked it, I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. We got a Clark family reunion. We got introduced to a new location. We got a new villain. And we learned a bit more about the infection. So overall, I thought it was a good episode. Arguably one of the best episodes. Is it the best Fear the Walking Dead episode of all time? Maybe. It's certainly up there. I would definitely say it's in the top 5 without a shadow of a doubt. We were missing some of the main characters. The likes of Daniel and Strand and Ophelia. But who knows? Maybe we'll get them at a later date. But I think for a season 3 premiere, it was pretty good. It's a step in the right direction for me.
Yep, it absolutely was. It was a 22nd episode overall. So to be in the top 5, it means you'd be in a decent bracket of episodes. For me, it is. I'd say it's easily up there with any episode that I've watched for this show.
I mean, it could be the best, but I'd need to actually think about it.
I think it helps, though, when you cram a lot of action into one episode. I feel like when we looked at Season 2, a lot of it was early on the boat. I mean, compare this premiere to Season 2's premiere. It was just, Season 2 was just so bland. It's a boat. I mean, they dug themselves into that hole.
They did kind of drag out being on a boat for like 5 episodes. Whereas, like you said, offline, you could have got more than one episode out of this. So I think the fast pace helped it. And I just think it was a lot more interesting than previous episodes had been. I mean, building up to this, it was kind of just everyone on the road, walking about, wandering from place to place, ever since the big hotel went shits up. So yeah, no, I like this. At the start, we get Madison, Travis, and Alicia. They are brought in to this army, military
base on the border.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, Travis gets separated from the 2 women. He gets taken down into like this, I don't know, secret bathroom, lab, like basement kind of thing, where there's lots of other people there. You can notice straight away he's been treated rough. He's been treated like a piece of meat getting thrown about. Whereas Alicia and Madison, they get put into a nice little office with our new villain. I don't know if it's necessarily a villain, but he's not exactly a nice guy. He's planning on killing Travis, so he must be a villain. His name is Troy. He seems to be in charge here of the soldiers, and I think, at first when I seen it, I thought potentially maybe it was something where the soldiers maybe keep the women, and they kill the men, but we see that Travis is in the bathroom or in the basement, and all of a sudden, he sees Nick, and Nick's with his girlfriend, whose name I completely forget.
Luciana.
Now, Luciana has been wounded. Travis tells one of the soldiers, I believe it was Troy, that Luciana's injured, she's hurt, she needs medical attention. To which Troy tells Travis, don't worry, everybody down here dies. And that is the case, because we have some of the runts from the army. And I'm not sure if everybody in the army is aware what's happening down here, but there's at least a couple of people that are doing these like interrogating experiments, and they're basically killing people and then recording how long it takes them to come back to life or to come back undead as a zombie. And they're like taking different factors into the equation, like height, weight, age, and all this sort of stuff. Now they're claiming this is for beneficial reasons. They're experimenting to try and learn about, I don't know, the disease or whatnot. But you could maybe argue that if they were doing that with people that were going to die anyway. But they're literally killing people here to experiment on them. So straight away, you know there's something dodgy about this army base.
There's something about Troy. There absolutely is. And again, you can see why they're doing it, but it still doesn't make it right. Because if you were waiting on sick people to die to do it, I think you'd be waiting forever. But you seem to be that they were distinguishing here between Americans and non-Americans, but obviously, like, we know Nick and Travis are Americans, but they just look at the whites. I think that's where they're looking at. And I think Nick doesn't necessarily look American. I think he does have a bit of Hispanic about him.
Yeah, I don't know if there was some racial tones going on here, because they were saying to Madison, like, you know, where's your partner from? Is he from Mexico or whatnot? But Travis did manage to explain, no, I'm an American.
I'm an American.
He's got that Maori warrior heritage.
Oh, Travis Troy like that.
He did. He's like, oh, you're a warrior. But so I'm not exactly sure what it was. Was it a race thing? Was it a woman thing? Why didn't they keep Luciana? Is it because she wasn't white? But I don't know if Travis was white, I still think he would have been in this basement getting experimented on.
Yeah,
because we've seen Steven. We get introduced to another character that is in the basement. He says, I'm not going to go out like this. I can't go out like this. And this guy was white. So I'm going to assume that they were just keeping white women.
Yeah, because we didn't see any men being kept alive. But again...
Was that the plan? Were the soldiers planning on raping those two? Troy did seem to take a liking to Madison.
He did. He liked a bit of Kim Dickens there. But yeah, for me, I thought initially it was like the whole race thing. But now there's no proof of white men. And Stevens kind of confirms that,
at first I didn't even realise the race thing. I know he mentioned that about Travis, but I was thinking more it was they're keeping the... So at first you thought they were keeping white people, and I thought they were keeping women. Maybe it's a combination of both. Maybe it's just white women that they're keeping.
Could just be white women. We've seen with Stevens, though, he did talk about his backstory, how he got caught here, he got shot. Then he got basically captured. So it's not like he escaped here, and that's why he'd be down here, because, he escaped and you have to go down here regardless of your car. But this guy, I thought he was a downer once he explained his backstory. He's like, here, I used to be an engineer sort of guy. I know the tunnels beneath this place, Travis. Me and you, buddy, I'm saying you and I partner up. I know the chemistry and you know the business.
Like, see this, Stephen, you knew he was getting too much screen time and too much dialogue. Either he was going to be a main character for season 3, or they were simply building him up so that his death would be a little bit meaningful this episode. And unfortunately for Stephen, it was the latter. But even during the time where Troy is being nice to Alicia and Madison, the fact that he's keeping Travis hostage in a separate room straight away just gives you vibes there's something wrong with this guy.
No, yeah, absolutely. It absolutely does that. And Travis...
If he was legit, if he was a good guy, why would he be keeping them separated?
Yeah, and he was making them tea, which they weren't really too keen on. They were pouring the tea down the plant. Troy said something about his mother. It's like, she likes it piping hot. Was his mother British or something?
Now, could there have been something in that? Could he been trying to drug them?
Potentially in it. I mean, potentially Troy. I wouldn't rule out the Troy rule book at this stage of the game. He is a bit of a weird guy, but he is definitely doing this behind his brother's back, which we'll get to a bit later on. Which, again, if he wants to take Madison and Alicia with him, could he really, rape them under his brother's watch at this new camp? But I guess he's doing it here, splitting them up into separation groups. So I guess we'll have to wait and see here. But
maybe he doesn't plan on keeping them long term. Maybe it's a short term thing.
True, but what do we see here is people getting led out from this storage room into a bathroom, and this is where we see all the numbers on their head, their time of date when they're dying, and they're all doing bets. So even in a zombie apocalypse, gambling is running wild. So I think it was, if you were off by a couple of minutes, was it the over of minutes, if I'm right?
Something like that. It was some betting gambling term.
Yeah, so Stephen tells Travis, though, that they can escape via the depot in the sewer tunnels. And I was thinking at this point, sewer tunnels, that's going to be good night. That lead to the border. So, of course, we're on the border. I'm assuming it actually led them to the American side.
I believe so. So, Travis ends up sacrificing himself here. Or at least he's willing to, because up next, they want to kill Nick and Luciana. But Travis is like, no, take me.
I'm that special Maori blood.
Yeah, I've got that Maori blood. You'll see, I don't turn. Travis was trying to... I don't know.
They were funny, though, because they were saying, do you want to die? He's like, yeah. Big Travis wants to die.
Yeah, but before they could shoot Travis, he ended up fighting back. Nick jumped up, helped him a little bit. One of the army guys got pushed into a freshly turned infected.
And he's bit.
And then they managed to, beat up the other guy. And they escape. So we have Travis escape with Nick, Luciana, and Steven. They get to the outside. They get to this manhole. Travis says, you guys go on ahead. I'm going to go and try and find Madison and Alicia. Steven tries to go down the manhole first. But Nick says something along the lines of...
No, whoa, what are you doing? Let her go down first.
Yeah, but he wasn't that friendly about it. He said something like, fuck you kind of deal.
This guy came up with the master plan, knows these tunnels like the back of his hand. Yeah. I get it if he wanted her to go down first and then he let Stevens go down next, but just being a cheeky cunt about it. How can anyone root for Nick?
Yeah, plus, I mean, if Stephen knows the way, shouldn't he go first?
No, let's be real, right? Let's say say Nick wasn't here and this was Travis. He would have absolutely let this guy go down first, and minimum second.
Yeah, then pass Luciana. I think he should have been done first.
No, Nick is overrated, right? And
I know, but this was purely a flaw, just so Stephen would go down last, and obviously he gets shot before he can get down.
And then Willie, the guy that beat up, that's his name, slices his throat and then just throws him down. The blood sprays all over Nick.
Yeah, ensuring that he will turn and find Nick and Luciana. Back in the little waiting room, Madison attacks Troy. Madison and Alicia get the upper hand on Troy. This is supposed to be like I don't know what his ranking is. I don't even know if he was in the army or if he's just pretending at this point. I'm assuming he's high up because he is leading this base.
Is he a sergeant? Sergeant Troy?
He could be like a sergeant, maybe a captain. I don't know what he is, but he gets overpowered here by Madison and Alicia. Pretty embarrassing. Madison sticks a spoon into his eye and threatens to like scoop it out basically if they don't let her go. I'm going to assume that once you've got a spoon wedged into your eye, it would do some sort of nerve damage anyway. Even if your eye isn't actually popping out, if the spoon's been wedged in towards the back of your eye, then there must be some sort of damage done there.
It was a weird angle, though. It wasn't necessarily in his actual eyeball. It was more like in his eye bag.
Socket.
Aye. So, I don't know if the guy's going to regain his vision, but would he lose it? I mean, we don't actually get to see in this episode if it's completely gone or not, but he didn't. It's almost like he didn't seem that bothered. He's like, well, it's just an eye.
Yeah, Travis gets caught though when he's trying to find them. They take him to this like pit. They throw him in a pit, and it's a pit full of walkers. And they basically say, right, you have to survive here, see how long you can last. I don't know if it's another betting thing, but they all expect Travis to die, but he manages to channel his inner Maury blood, I guess, and he turns into like this monster.
The way he killed Derek and Brandon.
This Travis monster, yeah, and he just starts killing all the walkers. Then underneath in the underground tunnels, Nick and Luciana, they get to the end of the tunnel and they like open up this kind of vent thing, this manhole deal, but it takes them into this like swamp looking area where there's like 1,000, maybe 2,000 walkers just here waiting.
Because of course there is.
So they have to go back the way. Where they bump into a reanimated Stephen. Nick manages to overpower Stephen, but Stephen's on top of him, and then we see Alicia, who is
standing above with a wee pocket knife, drops it down to Nick. Nick uses it. Boom. Good night.
Then Nick and Alicia get out of the manhole, and Madison finds this guy, and it turns out he's the brother of Troy. He talks her down and says, look, we'll let you go. We'll find your people. You know, just don't hurt my brother, essentially. So she pretty much gives up the leverage where she had on him, and a bit dumb in my opinion, because there was nothing stopping the soldiers from killing them or taking them hostage at this point. But she gave up the advantage that she had on Troy. But Troy's brother, Jake, was a man of his word. He did take Madison to get Travis, and Travis was somehow still alive.
After killing about, 50 walkers. He killed about 12 and they unleashed another cage with about 30 odds.
Yeah, so that's it. Troy admits that he put Travis in the pit. I guess Jake was a bit pissed off with him here. So I believe Jake's really in charge. I don't know if he's in charge overall, but he's not happy with his brother. And then that's kind of it until it looks like we're going to be on the same side here. Jake wants them to stay, but Madison's like, how can we stay after what your brother's done? Jake kind of says that Troy won't do that again.
Why would they stay though? Why wouldn't they just go their own way? I mean, they've got Nick. They've essentially got what they want out of this. They thought Nick might be here. They ended up getting captured. Right, we found our son. Let's just leave. Because this guy's army, and a lot of them were corrupt on his side with Troy. How could you sit under the same roof with him?
Yeah, now Jake tries to defend what he was doing, killing innocent people, but then Jake informs Troy that their father sent Troy here for a reason, and that reason was to cast one out to protect the many. So, is their father a member of the army too? Was Troy sent here because he can't be trusted? If that's the case, why the fuck would you have this guy in a leadership role if he can't be trusted?
Yeah, cast one out to protect the many. Well, so shaft one group to shaft another.
We go back in the lab now, and this was probably, I think, the worst part of the episode. We've got Willie, he's finishing packing up, but he stops to investigate a thudding sound coming from the vent, and he actually fucking takes time to unscrew the vent, just so he can look inside. I mean, what good was going to come out of this? What could he have possibly found in this vent that was going to be fucking worth it? Even if he found like $10 billion just banging against the vent, I mean, who cares? It's a zombie apocalypse. Money's worthless. He opens up the vent. Rats come out. Then all of a sudden he's grabbed by some walkers. He's bitten. The walkers pull at him, and then the next minute they actually drag him into the vent.
And he snaps clean in half.
Yeah, his whole body just snaps in half, and he gets dragged in to this like small little vent. And when did walkers ever have the power to do this, or B, grip onto people? We've just never really seen this with walkers before. So for them to have like a supernatural strength that it would take to actually grab him through this tiny vent
and it's such a
and
tight,
snap his body, I mean, come on.
It's such a tight vent, so realistically, only like 2 or 3 could grab him. It's not like we're talking 50.
But it was fucking dumb the fact he even opened this up in the first place.
Yeah, it was uncomfortably long, actually, how long it took him to unscrew it and all.
Then we get the walkers that Nick and Luciana found. They're overrunning the base because it wouldn't be The Walking Dead without a location getting overrun. Good old location overrun.
And it happens out of nowhere. It's not just like a door opens and like 50 come out. It's like they're all over it.
Yeah, it's not like a couple pouring at a time. You literally go from none being there to the entire base being infected, and we then they have to escape. They split up again. Madison and Nick, they have to go with Troy in the back of one of the army fans, whereas I believe Travis and Alicia escape with Jake inside a helicopter. We have Troy shooting some of the infected that was holding on to the helicopter. I actually thought he was going to shoot Travis here, because I'm pretty sure Travis dies on a helicopter. Now, that still might happen, but I was expecting this episode to end with Troy killing Travis.
Yeah, and it would have. I mean, you see like his eye patch with the wee kitchen roll.
But that didn't happen. The helicopter managed to take off safely. Travis just looked down. He spotted the trucks on the road, and he assured Alicia that Madison and Nick are safe. And that was the end of the episode, guys. It was actually one of the best Fear the Walking Dead episodes we've seen. And for me, it's one of the few episodes that I think I'm not saying it's as good, but I think it almost has the quality of like a Walking Dead season 3 episode.
Yes, I would agree. And I think it just shows you, though, you had all the main characters. They weren't split up. Well, I mean, I know Strand wasn't there, right, but forget about Strand. You had them all in, like, serious situations, and it was, like, barely a time to breathe, and sometimes that can be bad, but sometimes it can be good, and I feel like after a pretty slow season 2, it felt like an early apocalypse, this episode, to me, in this military base. I think season 2, the hotel, and then that whole Mexico, Tijuana, it was just boring.
It was boring, but this wasn't boring. This was good. This was fun, and it was action-packed. I'm going to give it a 7.
Yes, I'm going to give it a 7 too. I think without the whole unscrewing the vent thing, I genuinely could have given it an 8. Like a more plausible reason for there to be walkers and not for a vent to be open. I think it could seriously be looking at an 8, but I'm going to give it a 7 too. Will it be the best episode of this season? It probably will be.
Well, I've heard good things about season 3 of Fear the Walking Dead. I've heard it's the best season of Fear, so who knows? Maybe we'll get more episodes like this. But that's it, guys. 7 out of 10. Catch you in the next one. Let us know your thoughts down below. And until next time, peace.